the special prosecutors, I emailed Froze Merchant and said, I don't really know what the rules are about defense attorneys talking to special prosecutors, but I'd like to talk with you and to show you what the problems are and where you need to start digging. And then I met with Brian Benkin, Brian Roberts, and Froze the night before one of Broden's hearing. Clint Broden was with us, and just laid out what I see. This is what DPS is doing. The elected sheriff of McLennan County, 3 subpoenas I issued for him. Not once did he show up, and one of them was a trial subpoena. Has never produced a record, has never even bothered to come to court. It is the most brazen disregard for law I've ever seen.
And the judge just didn't do anything about it.
So Strother didn't. By the time we had gotten, the recusal hearing ended, and then the next day we're doing voir dire. And it was, again, I'm with the understanding that I'm going to be conducting pretrial discovery during trial. Didn't get to revisit it, so it's one of those things that fell through the crack. But he just flat out refused to show up.
And how did that affect, in terms of your cross-examination of the state's witnesses? There's always, everybody comes up with their rules that they try to teach you, which you're supposed to abide by, which is never ask a question you don't know the answer to. Never ask an open-ended question. It seems like with what you're telling me, that really had to all go out the door, and it was basically like taking a deposition in a civil case, is what it sounds like.
Correct.
Ow.
That's so dangerous.
To who?
At this point, it didn't sound like you had anything to lose. Though.
To who? I am.
Yeah.
It is a rare circumstance where the guy sitting next to me has no exposure. Like, legitimately did nothing wrong except what any man in that circumstance would have done. And so I won the lottery with respect to my client. And that was actually part of my closing argument. The state had been pushing this theory of you're either coward or criminal, failing to recognize that Jake's dad was there, rode in with them. His uncle, both men are in their 60s and overweight, outnumbered 8-1. What's he supposed to do, run for the hills? No. We're not going to do that. And so that was absolutely self-defense. And knowing Jake, the way that he's built, he couldn't have looked himself in the eye the rest of his life if he'd run away from that situation.
Let's get into this.
He did nothing wrong. So I could ask open-ended questions. It was either going to be some more baloney from the ATF about something that happened 20 years ago and all those men are dead or in prison, but it didn't have anything to do with Jake.